Hi everybody. I want to walk you through some basic edits using Photopea. And I've taken a couple pictures and on my phone, taken them out of my picture files or my photos and uploaded them to my Google Drive account. So it's going to be easy for me to get them on my Chromebook or on your Chromebook. So I have two pictures of different views of a guitar here, and I'll want to open those up. And I will want to download them. Okay, I don't have a Chromebook. Remember, I'm working with a regular laptop, so hopefully you guys will be able to find them in your downloads folder. And then I can be finished with my Google Drive. Now I've gone to photopea.com, and now I want to open up the first picture that I'd like to edit. So I'll go to the File menu, and I'll come down to Open. I'm going to look at my downloads, and I'm going to start off by just opening up the main part of the guitar. All right. So things look pretty similar to Photoshop. The very first thing that we want to do is resize this image. So I'm going to go into the main menu, click on Image, and then click on Image Size. The very first thing we want to do is come to this drop down. The default in Photopea is pixels. We don't want to use pixel dimensions. We want to use inches. So the very first thing that you want to do is click on the inches. And then if you've taken a tall picture like I have with my cell phone, I will highlight my height. And I'm going to type in 7 inches. Oops, 7. I'm going to come right next to that height dimension that I just changed, and I'm going to click on the links here. And that will change my width so the picture remains in proportion. It doesn't get squished or stretched. My DPI is the last thing to change, which is 300. I will click OK, and my picture will resize. My icon here for zoom, it's just like it is in Photoshop. So I'm going to zoom so I can see what's going on with my picture here. And I want to do a couple of edits. So things are going to work somewhat similar to Photoshop. You can do image edits through the image menu and click on adjustments. And you'll see some of those adjustments that you're used to using in Photoshop, like levels. When you click on levels, here's your histogram, your black slider, your gray slider, and your white slider. And you can move those anchor points around to get the exposure exactly where you want. Make sure you're being careful not to make your areas too light or too dark where you're losing detail. So pay attention to your lights and your darks so you're not going to lose detail. So I'm going to shift my gray slider a little bit on this, and then I will hit OK. And then the next thing I think I'd like to do in adjustments is possibly work on the Vibrance. turn up the vibrance a bit. Remember, that is your smart tool that should be working on pumping up colors that are a little weak. My history will allow me to go backwards so I can see what my picture looked like from opening stage through sizing, through adjusting my levels, through pumping up my vibrance. So those are basic edits that you can do on your pictures. If you would like to dodge or burn, remember the dodge tool is going to lighten. It looks like a lollipop. The burn tool looks like someone's hand making a letter O. If you click on dodging, again, you'll need to come up to the option bar and change the size of your mouse. Soften the hardness of the brush that you're using. Tell the computer what area you're working with. Are you working in the shadow area, the middle tones, the highlights? And then remember to keep your exposure nice and small so you have good control over it. Your keyboard shortcut should still work for your brush sizes. So that's your right bracket and your left bracket key. And then you should be able to click and drag over the areas that you want to spot lighten. You can click back in your history to see the changes that you've made. You can go back in your history if you've overdone it. I think that's good. Now, currently Photo P is having issues saving PSDs. So in order to save those edits that you've done, we're going to come to the File menu and we want to go to Export As. You'll want to save this as a JPEG. Make sure that your quality is at 100%. And noticed I should have dusted the guitar strings before I took this picture. And hit save. You'll be able to tell the difference from your original picture in your downloads because the image file name now has a number 1 in parentheses. The resized, edited picture that is a JPEG can now be turned in.